being able to do what we love and sharing it with the world.
Wow, what a journey already, for real. So one thing I want to ask you, one thing I want to ask you is about the habitat. I know you mentioned it in one of your songs, and I see you on social media and you're talking about it. I just want to know what it's like and how it all started and what you guys get up to at the habitat.
When I think about the habitat, I don't know if you're into like cartoons, but have you ever seen like what name? Justice League?
Yeah.
Like the X-Men, and they have the headquarters where everybody go, and that's where that's their hub.
Okay, yeah.
That's kind of the vibe with Habitat. Everybody go there, and it's a space where we create, and not even just to create. People just be linking up there to just hang out. Sometimes you go there, you can read. We have a nice little set of library. The space is beautiful, all the way up in Irish Town in like St. Andrew Hills here.
Yeah.
And it's just a lovely energy when you're there. You're away from the city, all of the noise and the air pollution and all of them things. They kind of filter that out. The drive up there is also one that I appreciate. But most importantly, it's just a space where we can, we young people can all just meet and develop or craft, and everybody's inspiring everybody. Producers can come through. Most time people just stay over till the next morning. We're in studio till like daylight.
Yeah.
Somebody always there cook. Whether it's like Protege or one of the producers or whoever wants to. It's a lovely space, and it's like it's a studio plus an experience, to be honest.
Wow, for real. You know what? You can actually pick that up whenever you guys, you see the pictures on Instagram or whatever it's going on. You can pick up the love and the vibe just from that. That's why I had to ask you what the actual experience is really about from yourself. Definitely.
Yeah, man, it's like being home, It's like being home. I'm at home now, but I go to like the big yard or the bigger family home. It's alright. I hear some music, and I get some good energy. If I'm here and I feel low, I'll sometimes just drive up to the hill to just chill. It's really, really lovely up there, and to have a space like that where you can also create from and work on whatever it is that you're doing, because it's not just musicians hang out up there, so it's a lovely place.
For real. When we spoke before, we kind of touched upon it about some problems within your community, and one of the problems you mentioned was about teenage pregnancy, and I just wondered what sort of things were going on in your community, because we always hear about Jamaica, but often we hear negative light. But I want to know from a Jamaican exactly, about your community and about what goes on and what happens, just so the listeners, whoever see this video, can actually get a flavour of the real Jamaica.
Yeah, as you say, I can speak on, my community and where I'm from and what I've observed over the years. As I did mention to you that teenage pregnancy has definitely been a thing where, it really impacted me personally, because what I realized is that growing up in a space like that, where people that I'm going to school with, people that live in my community, my neighbors and all of that, when I see all of them young girls getting pregnant, it kind of filtered over into my household, because then my mom started being extremely strict. We can't go anywhere, we can't socialize, we can't go to school parties or functions, just because she think that, that's the most effective way that she could protect us from that. So because of the fact that it found its way within my household, I paid more attention to it. It was something that found its way just in my meds and my meditation. I'd always be like,
Correct.
I don't really want that for myself. I don't want that for my younger sisters. I don't even want that for the young ladies within the community. But now what I find is that me playing my role, which I like to consider to be, me being able to do what I do. I'm coming from a space like Christiana, Manchester. Yeah. It's just a small town in a Manchester, like not a lot happens there. Nothing exciting happens there. There isn't even a KFC or a theater. So it's a really small town, and growing up in a space like that, you can kind of get into the cabin fever and just thinking that, this is what the world is.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I left from there, and the Most High blessed me, and my career began to bloom. Even though I'm pretty sure their perception of where I'm at right now in my career is much bigger than what it is, it still served as a means of inspiration for the young people. So when I go home now, I find that more of the young women them are wearing their hair naturally. Less people are trying to change the way they look, because they're like, but I went to primary school with Lila. She has always just been about her curls, hardly wear makeup, and just doing her. But here she is right now in the limelight, and she's basically the same person.
Yeah.
You get what I say? I'm doing the same thing, still pretty down to earth, and somebody that they can identify with. And then with the help of like my other sisters in the music, Savannah, Naomi, Kat-a-lyst, Coffee, it also seal it up much more, because now they're seeing other women doing the same thing, and we're just like some super role models for these people, So, naturally things are going to happen, and people are going to act out according to, them situation and what they're going through. But I find, say, the role that I play in all of that, or what I'd like to do, is to just continue to grow, to become like, I just want to be somebody that people really, especially in my community, really look up to. So when I begin to like go into the schools and speak to both the young ladies and the young men, it's somebody with them, them want to hear what I have to say, and they want to make me feel proud of them, and so they'll change their lives or operate in a particular way to make that be a thing. Just like I have artists which I look up to, or not just artists, just people in general, even within my community. So I try to just stay upright and do things when I feel like I'm going to make them proud. So that's kind of the role I want to play. And I also have a lot of plans for that space. I want to create community centers where they can go, and if you're interested in music, there's instruments there, there's drum, guitar, keyboard, whatever you want to find. There's a library, even though we do have a library. But when you create a space where young people can kind of just gather and do like a whole communal reforming of them energy, it's much more special and something with them more in tune to.
For real. I'm definitely feeling that, because in the UK, our youth clubs are pretty much dying out completely. So I hope that it grows more, and the same in Jamaica. I hope it grows for real. So you know what? I want to know a little something about you, Lila. And, I want to know the fact of, did you ever get in trouble, and what did you do?
Have I ever gotten in trouble?
Yeah.
I wasn't really a troublesome child, to be honest. It's because I'm afraid of my mother. Like growing up, I was very much in fear of my mom. I always feared getting beaten and all of them things. So I really didn't try to do. I didn't go out of line in any way. I was really just into my music. So if there's anything I get in trouble for, it's probably just not taking off my headset, as I said in Biggest Fan, just so consumed with the music. My mother probably had talked to me, and I can't hear her because I'm just in my own world, But naturally, I had some sisters who were a bit of troublemakers, so when them I get beaten, me I get beaten too.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Okay, blessing. So your EP, The Experience, I personally feel so connected to that album. It feels like you've let your soul out on that album. But of course, tell us about the album and just how you think the listeners have taken to it, because it has been out for a little while now. But how do you think it's gone for you so far?
Yeah, man, it's doing really good. Like as it released, I begin to realize that people are taking on to their own songs with them into. So what stood out to me is the fact that a lot of people were into Solitude, which is like the last track that I added. It wasn't even supposed to be a part of the project. Just something I freestyled and came up with, and I didn't really think much of it as a project song, but it did. And even that experience kind of showed me that really and truly just have to express yourself and don't put a lot of thought into it. Like, oh, I need to ensure that this song is a song that everybody's gonna love. Because at the end of the day, people are gonna kind of just gravitate to what works for them.
Yeah.
But it's doing really well. Like numbers on the streaming platforms are looking really good. On the charts, it was definitely on like the top 10 for a good little while. So I really appreciate that. And just in general, people coming to me and telling me that, oh, I love this song. Even though if I go on my Twitter or my Instagram, at least 3 people every day sharing a song from the project every day. So that show me say it's still fresh in people's mind. They're still connecting with it. Even me, because sometimes I don't really listen to myself a lot, but I do listen to this project a lot. So me listen Solitude, Forget Me, and Stars Alive. Those are the songs I play the most. So it's definitely a special project, and it did what I needed it to do, which was to show people that, separate and apart from reggae music and the reggae sound and one drop and roots reggae, I'm also capable of, tapping into different genres and, do a little genre bending and all of that. And just so people have an open mind when they're listening to that music.
For real. That's what I felt from it. I felt like you went in deeper. And when we spoke before, I spoke about Solitude. For some reason, that just hit me. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, whoa, I like this tune. I really love it, for real. So respect for that as well.
Yeah,
so,
you're welcome.
I know we got COVID and all that happening, but if you was to do, say, a show, who would you like to open for and why?
Who would I like to open for?
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like I'd love to open for Buju.
Okay.
But I love to open for Buju. I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because, Buju right now, and just being the legend that he is right now in music, and just his pulling power, naturally me to be in front of a lot of people, So Buju is definitely an artist I'd love to open for.
Wicked, respect. And of course, you performed lots of different places. Is there a place or a venue that sticks out to you?
Yeah, man, to this day I feel like Rotterdam. It's between Rotterdam and when I joined Protege on stage for Sumfest.
Oh, yeah.
But I was actually watching the Rotterdam performance last night, and I was like, wow, you really did a good job, So,
for real.
Yeah, man, I feel like it's a stiff competition between Rotterdam and Sumfest.
For real. And
Rotterdam especially, because I did that by myself, that whole set.
Yeah, for real. I'm just gonna say I respect the Rotterdam performance as well, because I feel like you were on the scene, but people were still getting to know you. Then you come out and then you just kill it. I was like, ooh, and it's so nice as well. It's so nice as well to see. I know we've had great female artists, but another female artist just smashed the stage. It's just feels empowering.
It was lovely.
For real. So I know you've done a song as well with Protege on his new album. And I just wanted to know how that came about, because I've seen the videos and I'm like, oh, she's killing it on that. For real.
Yeah, man, that's a really, really beautiful song. If I should say so myself, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that coming out of Jamaica. So I think that's definitely in its own lane as it relates to just sound. How that song came about, I was in LA probably a year ago or so. I was in LA, and the producers of the track who made the rhythm, they were also in LA. So I met up with them, big up Natural High, and they were just playing a bag of different instrumentals for me, because they're always like, yo, we'd love to work with you. And so when they played that one, I told them I really love that. I really wanted to work on that song. And I actually started an idea and everything, because the sample is from the Freddie McGregor song, "The Fight for Your Right." So I began to write something along the lines of just fighting for your rights and justice and all of that. But I was driving to Ocherius one day, me, Protege, and his assistant, and we just sometimes play random music or instrumentals in the car, and sometimes freestyle or just talk about music. And he was doing that, and I told him, I got a rhythm from Natural High that I really like, and I think, more play it for you. And he said, go ahead and play it. And immediately as him hear it, he's like, I love this rhythm. Like, this rhythm is sick. And so we said, yeah, well, yeah, feel on it. And then he actually came up with the melody. Where do you run to? So when I heard that, I was like, all right, but like, my song with the pan, but even make no sense no more. This is the vibe we are going. And so told him that I love that idea. I think about a couple days later, we went to studio, and I was like, yo, he's like, do you want to lay down the idea that we had started for that song? And so he sang the part that he had, and then the verse part, now, and don't you see me fighting with all my might? I kind of came up with that in the studio, and it just started evolving into something where I said, yo, this is nice. And we always spoke about me being on his project. I tell him, say, if we don't find a really nice song, I'm not going to be going on his project, cause we just feel like if me and him are going to collaborate at this point in both of our careers, it have to be something shot. Yeah. And so when we got that song, he's like, boy, this sound hot enough. I say, yeah, just use it for your project.
Yeah, for real.
That's how that came about.
Definitely feel the vibes on it, and if I'm honest, at the start, I had like a bit of emotion from it. I was like, wow. For real, I was like, wow, okay, I'm feeling this track. Definitely.
Yeah, man, it's definitely all in the feels, that one. It's definitely a very feelsy song.
For real. And so, I know you love reggae, you love listening to a whole heap of different kind of styles. But I wanted to know, from those who have either passed on or those who are still alive and living legends, what have you learnt from them within the music?
I get different things from different people.
Okay.
I feel like growing up listening to, let's say, artists like Buju Banton, and I remember reggae and dancehall being two completely different.
Yeah, for real.
Sizzla and Capleton, their stage presence is one that is extremely entertaining, separate and apart from the enormous catalog of just really great hits.
Yeah.
Like, their stage presence is very special. Garnet Silk is my favorite artist of all times. His sound is one that stood out to me the most. What I got from him was a lot of soul and just realness in how he delivered. It was very compelling. Like, I'm young and I don't even understand what he's saying, but I find myself, I get goosebumps,
Yeah,
so that's definitely something where listening to him being so young, I was like, if I'm doing music or if I'm going to sing anywhere, I need to ensure that the vibe and the energy that he's giving me, I can do that for other people. Queen Ifrica is also a female artist that I love. Like, I think her artistry is amazing. Just how firm she is as a woman, that definitely taught me that, you don't have to just be like, stand up one place on stage just because you're a woman and sing. And she would up on stage barefoot, just because I guess that's just the passion in her thing. So I learned a lot of things from a lot of different people. Naturally, Chronix and Protege.
Yeah.
I find that when I started listening to their music, and Janine, when the reggae revival came about, you found that the content of the music dived deeper. It went further than Haile Selassie and Rastafari. They went deeper into breathwork and studying the history much more further, so you understand as a black person where you come from and everything that happened to get us to where we are, consciously right now. So learn a whole heap of things from everybody. And Seven and Naomi, Coffee, everybody have their own little special little flair of style and everything that they put in their music, where me observe and borrow from too every now and again.
For real. So, throughout this whole time, what's the best advice you've got that you could pass on to the listeners and to the people out there?
In general, or you mean Corona time?
Anytime.
Just in general?
In general, probably.
Well, one thing Protege always tell me is to, constantly work on myself and my craft. So I'm guessing not all the listeners are creatives or artists, but just in general, just being mindful of what goes on in your mind.
Yeah.
What on in yourself. Try to just stay up hopeful in the midst of everything. And that's something where me constantly have to remind myself, because it's so easy for you to kind of just tip over and get upset because somebody bad drive you, or get upset because somebody stole something from you, or whatever. I'm always just encouraging me to center myself and just think about the bigger purpose in everything that we're doing, and treat people good. Treat people good, be kind, and be honest with people. So that's what I give to the people listening.
For real. So I'm just going to ask you 2 last questions, because I know we have to wrap it up.
Man.
But what's your spirit animal? What do you think your spirit animal is?
My spirit animal, it's probably a dragon.
Okay, and why is that? Why is that?
I just feel like, say, I have, because I spit fire, a joke. Just a dragon, because, dragon have them time when them just at peace and at rest, and everybody good. There's no fire breathing anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you bother that dragon, it will get hot around you,
For real.
So I'd probably a dragon.
Okay. And of course, I know, but would you be able to sing a little something for us? Either include me in it, you in it, however you feel.
Yeah, man, no problem. Which song? Which song is your favorite?
Solitude is my favorite tune.
Okay. Alright. So, you ready?
Yeah, man, of course.
Peace of mind. That's what DJ Kat just find. Oh gosh. And she's not in the mood. She just needs some solitude. Oh gosh, hey, hey. But everybody's trying to talk to me, but nobody wanna hear me out. Everybody's got some things to say. Honestly, them just move them out. If the things you say, it makes no sense, I bet you just leave me out. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, for real. You know what? I really appreciate having this interview with you.
Yeah.
And I hope when you come to the UK, or if I come to Jamaica, we can link up. I really do appreciate your time, for real.
Yeah, man, of course. Blessings, light, and prosperity. Thanks for constantly.
Thank you, and please keep safe.
Supporting. Really
Yeah, man.
appreciate that. Bless up yourself and
Every
stay
time.
safe.
Give thanks. Blessings. Keep safe. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Big up.
Big up. Speak soon.